Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here to talk more about UC Online's 100% online healthcare programs. Now, in this informational session, we are going to talk more about the program contacts that work on these programs, our healthcare certificate programs, and our associate programs, both offered 100% online, a little bit more about the healthcare industry and career outlook, and then we're going to jump into more of the logistics of getting started. So, tuition, financial aid, application information, and deadlines, and then more about what you're going to experience as a student of UC Online and some of the benefits that you'll get. Now, we will have time for questions at the end. So if you have questions, feel free to throw those out there and I'll make sure that we address those at the end. And just so you all can see some of the familiar faces that you'll be working with on these programs, we have Dr. Karen Lankish, who is the program director for the programs that we'll be speaking on today. We also have Darlene Foltz, who is our program coordinator. And then there's me, Brittany Bailey. I'm their enrollment services advisor here to kind of help with all next steps. We do have a team of enrollment advisors. So some of you may be working with me, but some of you may get somebody else on the team. And that is, we're pretty much here to kind of help you get started if you decide that you want to move forward. Now, we do have a couple different options for you, and we'll go into detail a little bit more on these, but we have several certificate programs and we have associate degree programs that are all 100% online. So the 100% online, it makes it very flexible, whether if you're working or if you have a family or other obligations going on outside of school. This is where that comes in to make it, fit into your life, how it works best for you. Now, here first, we're going to see a little bit more information about some of the certificate programs that we offer. Now, the certificates are nice because they are a little bit shorter and they give you a chance to kind of get started in these programs and career paths. But the nice thing about them too is that they do have fast track options to transfer into associate degree programs down the line. So, just want to point out too that our medical coding, physician practice management, and revenue cycle programs are all not going to require any prior college experience or prerequisites. So all you have to do is have a high school diploma or GED. Now, the cancer registry management program does require an associate's degree or at least completed 33 college credit hours. Now, there is still a pathway through the associate's program if you are wanting to get that ODS credential, but we'll cover that on the next slide. Now, you'll see too that all of these programs do prepare you for certification exams. So, medical coding, you're able to sit for the CPC and the CCA. Cancer registry, of course, was the ODS credential. Physician practice management is the CPPM. And then for revenue cycle, you can sit for the CRCS and the CRCP. Now, as you'll see on the next slide here, we are going to see the associate's degree programs that a lot of these certificates transfer into. So our Associate of Health Information Systems is going to allow you to sit not only for those medical coding certifications, but the RHIT. And as you can see here too, so just like our certificates transfer into our associate's programs, our associate programs transfer into our bachelor's programs. So a lot of students will finish that HIS associate program and move right into our bachelor's in health information management if they're looking to sit for the RHIA and move up to that next level in their career. Now, we do have an associates in cancer registry management. So for anyone that doesn't have any, college background that can't complete the certificate program to get the ODS, this is a great route because you can still move on to get certified as an ODS, but there are no college credits required. So everything that you need will be built into this associate program, and it just requires the high school diploma or GED. This one also is one that you could potentially transfer into a bachelor's of health information management if decide, later down the road you want to continue your education, get a little bit more management skills under your belt for, some higher jobs out there. Now, the associate in healthcare management and technology is going to be a little bit different. It's going to focus more on kind of the running a healthcare facility, kind of the behind the scenes management of a practice. And so, just like that certificate, you do get to sit for the physician's practice management certification. And that one does require a high school diploma or GED. Now, some students still want to pursue the health information route. So, you do have the option to transfer into that program. But a lot of our students that go this route and kind of go on the administrative side of healthcare go transfer into that Bachelor of Technical and Applied Studies program. So that's a great kind of option for you once you finish that program. Now, healthcare as a whole is in demand. So the jobs are increasing. We're expected to see about 3.3 million new jobs in the next 7 years. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics is expecting the healthcare sector to create about 45% of all new jobs in the next decade. So from 22 to 32. Now, in regards to tuition, you'll see down here at the bottom there is a nice chart that kind of lays out, but really the main focus is if you're a resident of Ohio, you're looking at about 304 per credit hour. If you're not a resident of Ohio, you're looking at about 319. There's only a $15 difference there. And so that's going to be your cost per credit hour. And of course, all of the programs are going to have different credit hour requirements. And then depending on any incoming transfer credits you may bring in, could also kind of make adjust that a little bit for you as well. But there is the approximate, overall credit hour rate for you there. Now, there is a UC tuition guarantee. So once you enroll in one of our online certificate or degree programs, your tuition rates will be frozen. So they won't increase every year. So we are definitely trying to make things as affordable as possible. And there are a lot of financial aid options out there too. So we're going to kind of talk about that now. So, of course, the programs are eligible for federal financial aid. So, if you've already submitted the FAFSA, you can definitely log back in and modify it. I believe you hit make corrections to add UC school code. If you have any questions, though, we do have a financial aid advisor. We also have connections over at Claremont Student Success. So definitely talk to your enrollment services advisor to get you connected with somebody if you want to talk more about financial aid and what your options are, or if you've already applied and you're looking to see, how everything pans out here at UC. Now, for students of that are residents of Ohio, there are a couple scholarship options that are available. Now, if you're not a resident of Ohio, I definitely recommend checking your state resources as well. A lot of states are going to have very similar scholarships to these, but may just have different names for them or go through different departments, et cetera. So Ohio has the Choose Ohio First Scholarship and the Workforce Inventory Education and Training Provider funding option as well. Now, something that your ESA would be happy to talk with you about is the University of the Business Scholarship Program. So we actually partner with employers to offer employees, spouses, and dependents a scholarship towards the tuition. So if that's something that your employer might actually already be a partner and you want to find out if they are, or if you're wondering how your employer can partner with us, definitely reach out to us. We'd be happy to get you connected. We'd love to, speak with your employer and see if we can set something up for you and double check to see if they are already on the list. We do have about 200 plus partners. So there is a chance that we may already be working with them. Now we are getting, coming up on some deadlines. So if you decide that you want to move forward for the application, there is an application form online. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out, depending on how much information you need to input. But the bulk of that does require that we have to have all of your previous transcripts from previously attended institutions. So the deadline, if you wanted to start at the beginning of fall semester for August 26th, the deadline to have your application form and all transcripts received by admissions would be July 1st. Now, we do have quite a few start dates for these programs. So if you miss that deadline, don't fret. You can still get started this fall. It's just going to put you out a little bit in October. So there is a second start date, October 16th. That does give you a lot more time to get your transcripts and everything in. So the deadline for that start date is going to be August 12th. Now, your ESA will be happy to work with you on getting your so if you are wondering where you can, go for resources for that, they'd be happy to assist. Essentially, you can try sometimes just Googling the school with transcripts after it will take you directly to their page. Many schools use a service called Parchment or National Student Clearinghouse to electronically transfer them directly to admissions. So that's always the quickest way. But there is an option if they have to mail a hard copy. The address is just right there. But definitely reach out to your ESA if you're having any, troubles tracking down where to go or where to find them, and we're happy to help you out. Now, some of the things that are great about UC Online that are going to be here for the students is that the classes are 100% asynchronous and online. So you're never going to have to make a visit to campus, which means that you don't have to be local. You'll never have to come to campus or make a trip here. Everything is also asynchronous, which means that there are not going to be set login times. Now, you'll still have the structure of a university course. So you're still going to have weekly assignments, deadlines, etc. every week, but you won't actually have to be present in a class or logged in at a specific time. So this makes it extremely flexible for whatever schedule you're working with. If there's, if you have a work schedule, no matter what hours or things like that, you can definitely, when you actually do the assignments is completely up to you, as long as you are turning them in and meeting those deadlines that are listed on your syllabus. Now, the classes are going to be set up. They're not going to be full semester classes. So the semesters are 14 weeks, but the classes are 7 weeks. So you're going to have a first half set of classes and a second half set of classes. Now, depending on how you want to schedule, the most common that we see for a part-time student is typically going to be like one class the first 7 weeks and one class the second 7 weeks. But when you get to the point where you're building your degree plan with your academic advisor, I would definitely recommend kind of talking and, really evaluating what your schedule looks like and talking with them about scheduling so that they can build something that's going to work best for you. The nice thing about the 7 week sessions that although they are going to be a little bit faster paced, so we are, putting 14 weeks into 7, you're not going to have to focus on a bunch of classes at one time, which I personally think makes it a little bit easier because you really just have to focus, especially if you're going part-time, on that one class. There's that one set of due dates, there's one set of assignments. So they are faster paced, but on the flip side of that, you're not juggling as many classes at once. Now, one of the biggest bragging points I would say of UC Online's of these programs in particular are our faculty and our program directors, program coordinators. I know I mentioned them earlier, but they are awesome. They're going to do everything they can for this program to make sure students are successful. So they're really there as a resource to you. The faculty are there, your instructors are there. So if there are, things in the class that aren't clear or you just need a little extra help, the instructors do have office hours and times that you can meet with them. They're always available, for communication by email, and you'll have their phone number, things like that too. So that is one of the nice things is that although you're an online student, you're still going to have those connections and still have those resources available to you. There's going to be somebody on the other side of the classroom that's going to be working with you. Now, I know I touched on this a little bit, but there are going to be multiple start dates per year. So you will have the option because of that 7 week setup, there are 6 start dates a year. So if you miss, I know we are coming up on that deadline. If you miss a deadline, you don't have to wait a whole semester for a new class to start. There are other options for you. And then, like I said earlier, there are full and part-time scheduling options. So while most of our students are part-time, it really just depends on, what you think you can handle. I recommend talking with your ESA about that a little bit, kind of what the workload is going to look like, your academic advisor when they're building your degree plan and things like that. Now, when you are in these programs, as we saw earlier, there are certification exams for you to get certified in all of these areas. So you will be, have the option to be prepared for those, with your coursework, of course. So you won't be going into those completely unprepared. You'll have everything that you learned in the programs. All the resources are going to be available for you to get yourself ready to take those exams. So a big thing about the program and the faculty, program coordinators, and directors on this program is that they do really want you to succeed after graduation. And so they want you to be prepared. They really do care about student success and going on and passing these certifications after you finish with us here at UC Online. And I know we kind of talked about the fast track option, so I'll touch on those again. The nice thing about all of these programs is that you can kind of take it as step by step, so kind of like a staircase from one end to the other. Now, your certificate programs do transfer into associate programs. So just to kind of reiterate, for example, if you start the medical coding certificate program and you finish that program, you're actually already halfway through an associate's program. So many people will just kind of continue on to that associate's because they're halfway there. But you could also, if you take time and start working in the field, you want to come back to us. You're not going to lose those credits from the certificate program if you decide that you want to pursue the associate. Now, that also applies to the associates to bachelor program. So once again, some students will finish the associates and just transfer right into the bachelor's program if they've got that momentum. But also if you want to, get working, you have your credentials, you want to start working in the field, and then say another job comes up and you need that next credential or you need that bachelor's program, you can come back to us and you aren't going to lose those credits going into the bachelor program. And then lastly, something that is really great is that you're going to have a support system, not only from the faculty and your instructors and program coordinators, but also you're going to have several advisors that you're going to work with along the way. So you've been listening to me talk, but I am an enrollment services advisor. So I'm essentially here to kind of help with initial program questions, let's talk about more about what your end goals are and make sure that we're getting you in the correct program. Here to help with that application process, like the first steps of financial aid, giving you resources and things like that. Now, once you are admitted and you confirm your spot in the program, it doesn't stop there. So I might not be with you the entire time, but you are going to be working with a student success coordinator who is really going to be your point person for resources all the way through graduation. So not only do they help you with that initial couple of steps to get actually enrolled, like making sure you have everything you need, making sure that you know when your registration times are, getting you connected with your academic advisor, answering questions about textbooks, resources, things like that. But they'll also be checking in with you each semester throughout the time that you're in the program. So if you do have, questions regarding the university or resources that are out there, just anything at all, that is a good person to go to. And then you're also, of course, going to have an academic advisor that's going to be a little bit more on the scheduling, the transfer credit end. So they'll be doing, your credit evaluation and meeting with you to go over that and build out your degree plan. And, if you have any questions regarding your degree plan kind of throughout the rest of the program, they're a great resource to talk to as well. All right, so now I want to get to some of the questions that are here from this info session. But if questions arise after this is over, or just anything that pops up at all, if you'd rather, talk to somebody individually, like I said, that's what us service advisors are here for. So if you haven't done so already, definitely feel free to reach out to them. My contact information is on here as well. So there is my phone number and email. And then down below, you'll have the overall UC online enrollment team. So you can always give that number a call and we'll reach back out to you too. So any questions that come up, we are happy to help. That's what we're here for. So don't hesitate to reach out. Now, a few questions popped up in the chat, so I just kind of wanted to address those real quick. I did have somebody ask about, they're already a UC student looking to pursue one of these programs. So if that's the case, the application process is a little different. There is a readmission application form to fill out, and I would definitely suggest reaching out to your ESA to talk more about what that process looks like. They can send you a direct link to that readmission form and even give you exactly what you need to input to make sure that you're filling out correctly and getting, into the right program. So that's a great question. I would reach out to your ESA so that way they can kind of help you through that process. And then another question that came up was talking about, tests and exams. Now, you don't have to go to an exam center or anything like that. You won't have to, seek out a test proctor at your local library or anything like that either. Everything, we say 100% online. It definitely is going to be online. There is a software called HonorWalk that is actually a proctoring software that essentially allows you to take your exams online still. You do have to have camera and microphone access allowed for that. And they'll have to verify that you are who you say you are. So that's how they know that the person taking the test is actually the student. So once again, you won't have to go to any testing centers or have any, professional proctors or anything like that. It's all done through a software that you'll download on your computer that will handle that. So don't fret, you will have a proctoring option. And then lastly, I've had a couple questions pop by about transfer credits. So just keep in mind, as enrollment services advisors, we aren't pre-screening any transfer credits or anything like that. We're unable to do that. But when you apply to the program and have your official transcript sent in, once you're admitted and confirm your spot, that's when that credit evaluation will come through, and that's when you'll meet with the academic advisor. So they'll go through all of that before you even register for your first classes. So that will be all laid out in front of you. You'll know exactly what transfers in, exactly what you have left to take before you even sign up for that first class. So I think that's really helpful to know. It's all transparent. It's all right there. You're not, registering for classes without knowing, if your class is transferred in or not. So that's a great question. I know that's one that a lot of people are eager to find out, but just know you'll get to that point with your academic advisor, and they'll be there too to answer questions about that evaluation and whatnot too. Now, I don't have any other questions here. So like I said, if things come up after this is over, definitely reach out to your enrollment service advisor or the enrollment team. We're happy to help with any of those questions. But in the meantime, I do appreciate all of you for joining me here. And so thanks for listening. Thanks for all of your great questions. And we look forward to working with each and every one of you. Have a great day.